Mrs. Francis Harris's Petition, 1699. To their Excellencies the Lords Justices of Ireland, the humble petition of Francis Harris, who must starve and die a maid if it miscarries, humbly showeth that I went to harm myself in Lady Betty's chamber, because I was cold. And I had in a purse £7, 4 shillings, and 6pence, besides farthings, in money and gold. So because I had been buying things for my lady last night, I was resolved to tell my money, to see if it was right. For, you must know, because my trunk has a very bad lock, therefore all the money I have, which, God knows, is a very small stock, I keep in my pocket, tied about my middle, next my smock. So when I went to put up my purse, as God would have it, my smock was unripped, and instead of putting it into my pocket, down it slipped. Then the bell rang, and I went down to put my lady to bed, and, God knows, I thought my money was as safe as my maiden head. So, when I came up again, I found my pocket feel very light. But when I searched and missed my purse, Lord, I thought I should have shrunk outright. Lord, Madam, says Mary, how do you do? Indeed, says I, never worse. But pray, Mary, can you tell what I have done with my purse? Lord help me, says Mary, I never stirred out of this place. Nay, said I had put it in Lady Betty's chamber. That's a plain case. So Mary got me to bed and covered me up warm. However, she stole away my garters that I might do myself no harm. So I tumbled and tossed all night, as you very may well think, and hardly ever set my eyes together, or slept a wink. So I was a-dreamed, methought, that I went and searched the folks round, and in a corner of Mrs. Dukes's box, tied in a rag, the money was found. So next morning we told Whittle, and he fell a-swearing. Then my Dame Wedger came, and she, you know, is thick of hearing. Dame, said I, as loud as I could bawl, do you know what a loss I have had? Nay, says she, my Lord Colway's folks are all very sad, for my Lord Dromedary comes a Tuesday without fail. Pew, said I, but that's not the business that I ail. Says Carey, says he, I have been a servant this 25 years come spring, and in all the places I have lived, I never heard of such a thing. Yes, says the steward, I remember when I was at my Lord Shrewsbury's, such a thing as this happened, just about the time of gooseberries. So I went to the party suspected, and I found her full of grief. Now, you must know, of all the things in the world, I hate a thief. However, I was resolved to bring the discourse slyly about. Mrs. Duke, said I. Here's an ugly incident that has happened out. 'Tis not that I value the money 3 ships of a louse, but the thing I stand upon is the credit of the house. 'Tis true, £7 4s and 6pence makes a great hole in my wages. Besides, as they say, service is no inheritance in these ages. Now, Mrs. Duke, you know, and everybody understands, that though 'tis hard to judge, yet money can't go without hands. The devil take me, said she, blessing herself, if ever I saw it. So she roared like a bedlam, as though I had called her all to nought. So, you know, what could I say to her any more? I e'en left her, and came away as wise as I was before. Well, but then they would have had me gone to the cunning man. No, said I, 'tis the same thing. The chaplain will be here anon. So the chaplain came in. Now the servants say he is my sweetheart, because he's always in my chamber, and I always take his part. So, as the devil would have it, before I was aware, out I blundered. Parson, said I, can you cast a nativity when a body's plundered? Now you must know, he hates to be called parson, like the devil. Truly, says he, Mrs. Nab, it might become you to be more civil. If your money be gone, as a learnt divine said, do you see, you are no text for my handling. So take that from me. I was never taken for a conjurer before, so I'd have you to know. Lord, said I, don't be angry. I am sure I never thought you so. You know I honour the cloth. I design to be a parson's wife. I never took one in your coat for a conjurer in all my life. With that he twisted his girdle at me like a rope, as who should say, now you may go hang yourself for me, and so went away. Well, I thought I should have swooned. Lord, said I, what shall I do? I have lost my money, and shall lose my true love too. Then my lord called me. Harry, said my lord, don't cry. I will give you something toward thy loss. And, says my lady, so will I. Oh, but, said I, what if, after all, the chaplain won't come too? For that, he said, and please your excellencies, I must petition you. The premise is tenderly considered. I desire your excellency's protection, and that I may have a share in next Sunday's collection, and, over and above, that I may have your excellency's letter with an order for the chaplain aforesaid, or, instead of him, a better. And then your poor petitioner, both night and day, or the chaplain, for 'tis his trade as in duty bound, shall ever pray.